Lightning Strikes, home of the Oak Farms Premier League. This week we're reviewing the position round coming up on Wednesday. This will be the last week of the half, and we start a new half next week.
Well, it's going to be very exciting. Brightview Financial, who has led about the last 2 months, will be bowling for the title against the Goats. Obviously, there's big money at stake in the first 4 or 5 teams. Keep in mind, everybody now positioning for the second half of the season. Keep in mind, we have 2 winners, the first 18 weeks, the second 18 weeks, but the league finals is all the pins and points tabulated for the year. Am I correct with that?
Yep, top 8 teams make the playoffs.
So every pin counts. It's going to be exciting Wednesday evening. Brightview Financial, a great team against the Goats. Of course, Hockey Baby and Tick Transport, which was the hottest team in the league, really, the second 8-week segment.
Absolutely.
They bowled fantastic.
They did. All right, we're going to talk about match number 1. However, we got some bad news to report on the Goats. We lost Clay McCallum, passed away over the break. He bowled for the Goats, real nice guy. We liked him very much.
Yeah, it was a tragedy for all of us here when we found out. We don't know exactly who's going to be taking his place this Wednesday night, but there probably will be a sub for Clay. He passed on about 2 weeks ago, so our prayers and thoughts go out to his family and friends and his teammates, which are very shook up about this, and we all are here at Lightning Strikes when we lose one of our league bowlers and a good friend to bowling.
Yeah, we'll have a moment of silence on Wednesday, so let's get into 1 versus 2. Brightview Financial has Scott Chakosky out at 219, Tyler Floyd 208, Bobby Hammond has 222, and Fisher's 233. Bowling against the Goats, of course. House Brown's 202, Ice Martinez 210, and Jay Rucker's been bowling great lately at 222.
Well, the last time Jay was on the pairs that were lit up, he went 289, 279 the last 2. He's going to be bowling John Pfister, who just dropped a second high average after Stouffer's 836 in week 17. So that should be a great match, Rucker against Pfister. Obviously, we're going to watch the top bowlers, or Chakosky, and see who he's going to bowl against. Tyler Floyd will probably be against House Brown, and Bobby Hamilton probably against Ice Martinez. But they can shuffle the lineup, am I correct?
Yes, the Brightview got put in first, and the Goats can match up.
So Brightview has to go in first, and then the Goats can decide where they want to be.
That's
am
correct.
I correct with that?
Yeah, exactly.
Very interesting. There could be a lineup switch because of this situation.
I mean, the Goats are 14.5 points behind Brightview.
Yeah, they've got to go 20-4, I believe, in order to have a chance. What do they have to win at 14.5 behind and 24 total? 16-8 would put them 8. I think they got to go 20-4. Am I correct in assuming that?
20, 21.
Yeah, they've got to really pull a rabbit out of their hat. Although it did happen the last time we had a position round when Lightning Strikes went 1-23 against Brightview.
Brightview almost swept.
So it can happen.
Right. So who's your pick for this match?
I like Brightview all the way.
Yeah, me too.
I think that Brightview has just bowled so good all year under all circumstances that they don't have any fear. They've been in this position. They've been at the top. They are a veteran team and a young veteran team, but with Pfister in there, who's very consistent, averaging 233. Bobby Hamilton, Tyler Floyd, Scott Chakosky are all winning, great winning percentages. Scott Chakosky's got a great winning percentage in the league in match play. One of the top 3 or 4 in match play in the league.
Absolutely. All right, we talk about match teams 3rd place versus 4th place, and that's going to be Hockey Baby, and they're bowling against the hottest team, Tick Transport, 4.5 points behind.
Well, Ivanchek, Shirk, MacGyver, and Ubik have bowled very well all year. They've been in the hunt, literally, from the start. Tick Transport is a team I would have never picked after the way they started the first 4 weeks. They were in 22nd, 23rd, and all of a sudden they're right there. They are a handicapped team with only 1 bowler averaging over 200, Preston Willis, but they're winning a lot of points. I don't know if it's the luck of the draw or they just know how to click when they have to, which does happen with a lot of handicapped teams. They seem to pump up when they see they've got a big edge with added pins. And obviously they're going to be bowling Hockey Baby, who has bowled very well all year.
Right.
I think this could be a 12-12 myself. I don't pick either team here to run away, but I'm always wrong when I pick, the kiss. So I got to be careful.
Yeah, I think Tick Transport probably go past the Hockey Baby this week because Tick Transport has this knack of always bowling just enough to win. I mean, the dollar match is so close.
Yeah, they're very deceiving. especially averaging 15.5 points per week the last 9 weeks. That's the best average in the league. That doesn't happen by itself. Numbers don't lie. When you see a team winning 2/3 of its games for 9 straight weeks, 2/3 of its points available, that's some great bowling.
Absolutely. So.
Oh yeah, a 667 average the last 9 weeks, fantastic.
All right, 5 versus 6 will be great matches. 5th place Beach Bowls bowling against 6th place EBA Pro Shop.
Well, James Oswalt, everybody knows. Now look at the averages for Beach Bowl: 12-7, 24 and 18. And EBA, other than Robert, who's 199, a great team with Joaquin Scott Cobb and the great John Rakoski. This could be a very high-scoring match, obviously because it's low handicap. You can see both teams shooting 2600, 2650 scratch, where I think it's going to be very close in 9th and 10th frames for both teams every match, all the way through, including team total. This could be a dogfight. It could be a 12 and 12. I know one thing: both teams are very capable of some big numbers.
Absolutely. Anybody knows both those teams can shoot big.
Oh yeah, 2700 scratch, not out of possibility there.
Who are you taking that match?
I like Beach Bowl.
Like Beach Bowl?
Yeah, I like Beach Bowl only because of James Oswalt. He seems to be the motivator. I'm going against the boss's team, but Beach Bowl has bowled very well, other than 1 week when James Oswalt was gone.
That's right.
And they click.
Yeah, crushed.
And I like the Beach Bowl. I like the Beach Bowl at 15 and 9.
I like EBA Pro Shop because Jerry Muglanic's been struggling. He's 227 now, 224 now. Pulaski's has been struggling, but he's out here practicing today. But Rakowski has like 5 700s in a row.
Yeah, well, he's fantastic. He bowled great in the last 2 tournaments here.
Absolutely.
He's so good. And he's very deceiving when he isn't striking a lot. He still shoots 680.
That's right.
He shoots 680 on a bad night.
He does.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I love watching John bowl. He's an artist out there.
All right. 7th place versus 8th place team. It's Frakes and Beans with Chuck Rucker team against 8th place team, Offensive Awareness, Daniel Caceres team. That's going to be a great match.
I think this whole match depends on the Schwartz, father and son. 174 and 199. If they click, they win. They got a lot of handicap. I think it's up to them. Durkin, Zielinski, Kahn, and Rucker. Any one of them could be 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th in that lineup. Look at those averages: 16, 14, 13, 12. So I really think it's up to the 2 handicap bowlers, Schwartz Senior and Junior. If they bowl well, 580 and above, the team should do very well. They shoot 520s and 530s, they're going to be in a lot of problems.
Yeah, I think they'll be favored this match because I think Caceres has been bowling very well lately. A lot of 700s.
Yeah.
He's figured his house out.
Yeah.
Seymour's due to get back on bowling well.
Yeah.
And Don Schwartz Jr. has been bowling pretty hot lately too. So I think Offensive Awareness is going to go by.
Well,
that's what
I like that pick.
All right.
That's a good team.
Yeah, it is. Great.
You know, it is a good team, and especially with Daniel and Billy. They start striking, and get the other guys loose. That team can explode. They are a good team, but it depends on the big guns. The big guns got to strike.
Yeah, sure.
They're not getting any handicaps, so they better strike.
I mean, Mike Durkin's been bowling solid. Brad's been bowling solid. Reggie's been hit and miss this year, and Chucky's been hit and miss this year. But if all those 4 guys show up like they can, then
but yeah, that's the closest team in averages in the league.
Absolutely.
Where do you see 4 points between high and low on a team? Very rare.
No.
No, this team 12, 13, 14, 16. You put Durkin in there, 15. They're 1, 2, 3, 4. Bing, 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 bing.
Tell Mike with the program.
Yeah.
Found that guy.
Yeah.
All right. 9th place team versus 10th place team. We need to make that. Let's go right there. No.
Well, the big guns, of course, with Ratchin, Ward, Alshire, and Stouffer. Stouffer was 5 pins behind John Pfister, and all of a sudden 836, and he goes right around him, so he's up to 234. Ricky Ward on the brink of 230. Obviously, he's bowled great the last 8 weeks.
Absolutely.
Even though they're 35 points out of first, they're capable at any time for a 2800 scratch, 2850 scratch, which could give them a 20-point night. Obviously, they're not going to win the first half.
No.
But I think, obviously, at 35 points out of first, with 19 weeks, they're still in the hunt.
I think they're ready for the second half.
Oh, yeah, so right.
But build 1, I heard Joe Scardero got hurt.
Joe Scardero got hurt and cut the back of his hand horribly. Many stitches, many staples. He's probably going to be out a few months.
Yeah.
So I think we have a medical situation again where they are allowed to sub. Is that so?
Yeah, I think they have another player on the roster.
They do, okay. Yeah, they're going to have to step it up because without Joe's, who's high average on the team right behind Davion, and a mainstay, they've got to put a good sub in now.
I think they're in trouble.
Yeah, so do I.
I think Fig Jam's going to have a big
yeah, I think Fig Jam is going to jump on that. When you see 4 veterans knowing they got a weak link in there, it's going to loosen them up even more. And they are bowling very good right now with Stouffer coming back with 836.
Yeah, Stouffer's been bowling a lot lately in the house. He's been practicing. He's been bowling tournaments here, so I think he's sharp again.
Of course, Lee Ratchin was hurt too. He hadn't been missed for a while, but he hasn't bowled much in 3 weeks. I know he's been resting it. I didn't see him here for any of our tournaments.
Oh yeah, Ricky is a solid. Don't worry about Ricky. He'll always show up. And then Wichcott's been bowling well too. Is Alshire. He's been bowling those tournaments this weekend. And he looked well.
Alshire's 820 anytime he puts the shoes on. I mean, we haven't seen it yet. We've seen a 4 or 5 week run. So if he's sharp, that's 780 and 820 because he's not afraid to strike.
He likes to strike.
You know, when he starts striking, it's over.
So I'm going to pencil Fig Jam Lawyer for a big
I like Fig Jam in this mismatch.
16 to 20.
I like that.
All right. 11th versus 12th is Taps versus Loot, and Loot is 2 points behind Taps. My friend Daniel Hyam and Bobby Taylor. What do you think about that, Matt?
Well, you know, Ricardo Reyna 780 a few weeks ago. Bobby Taylor, you know, very good bowler. I like what they look like on paper, but the only problem is we don't bowl on paper.
Nope.
So again, I think this is a push match. This is a 12 and 12. I don't see any one team that I think is really going to jump out at the other. They're both good teams, but they haven't really put the run on that they really need to make a move in the league. At 11th and 12th, they're right in the middle of the pack. I see a 12 and 12.
Another 12 and 12. You're so,
I like being in the middle, and I don't put the kiss on anybody.
I think Joe Lasic's been bowling well lately. Dwayne Billy's been bowling well. I'd probably go with Taps this week because Bobby Taylor's been bowling very, very well this year.
Yeah.
If Ricardo Reyna could either shoot the 580 or the 880.
Yeah, Ricardo's unbelievable. Beautiful game. But every once in a while, there's a 3 count in there.
There is one.
I don't know how that happens. Either his eyes are closed or something happens, but he's really good. He's just every once in a while, there's a shot that's not good.
A little loose?
I don't know what it is. I haven't figured it out. I don't think he has either.
All right, 13th versus 14th is Naples Fire Protection against Team 14 ONWB. I mean, they've been struggling lately also.
Well, John Van Buren obviously is a big gun, and obviously 800 in his realm. Same with Andy Cox, who's been bowling great. Dennis Beagle, who's fantastic. Billy Morgan's hurt. He's not going to be bowling, from what I understand.
He's hurt too.
Yes, I heard that Billy Morgan might be hurt.
Jeez.
So we might have a problem there. I don't know. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Billy's strong and ready to roll. That's a good team average-wise. Obviously, they're a low handicap team bowling against a team with a lot of handicap. So they've all got to be on. I mean, it's got to be 660 and up to really have a chance per man to take a 20 and make a move in the league. You know, a couple of guys shoot 620 and the others shoot 660 and they're not going to go anywhere.
Well, I think Matt Hodgman was hurt. He had surgery, so he was practicing the other day. Dick Hoagland's back from hand surgery early this year. Roy Paris, he hasn't been practicing very much lately. I think Naples Fire Protection will put up a big number.
Well, Dick Hoagland bowled great last Tuesday. He made the bonus shot for 50 in colored pin.
How much did he get?
He got a $50 bill for
$50?
3 red pins. He left the 136 for $50. They were all red. He was so thrilled, and I was thrilled. He's such a good man, loves to bowl. And even though he's a higher handicap player, he still has the heart. You know, he shoots 580, 590. That team can win. Yeah. It's really up to him. And he's good enough to do that.
Oh, he's average 220.
He's got a good game. Yeah. I mean, he throws the ball well.
He had hand surgery.
Yeah.
He's coming back.
Good man there. Fellow New Englander.
Everybody's hurt, though. I thought bowlers are athletes.
Well, there's a lot of people hurt, but they're going to be here. They're going to be trying their heart out, that's for sure.
I'm not the only one not hurt.
I'm hurt, but I'm only hurt with my hair.
My feelings are hurt.
Yes,
my
hair hurts.
15th versus 16th. This is Lightning Strikes, who was in first place at the first position round.
Unbelievable with 9 weeks. Excuse me. Not unbelievable what 9 weeks has done to Lightning Strikes. Now keep in mind the last position round they were the leaders. They went 1-23, and ever since then it's been a landslide down into the gully of bad bowling. And they are a good team. They led 8 weeks. That doesn't happen by itself, and all of a sudden gone. And, you know, in a way, very, very hard to understand when they can lead 8 weeks, and in the last 8 weeks, one of the worst teams in the league.
They haven't recovered.
No, they haven't recovered from that shellacking of 1-23. And they are a good team, and they can bowl well. Jared Eisenberg, Clark Holloman, Chris Rich. Chris Rich is a good bowler.
Oh, great.
Chris Rich is good. I love the way Chris Rich bowls, but they just haven't been able to beat anybody, and it's the nature of bowling.
I think I found your team that's the closest in average. What's going to be Audio Fort Myers? 195, 167, 198.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
There it is. Father and son. I'm a little surprised at Barry Sites.
Me too.
Much better than that, but
Way
you know, he
better
didn't
than
bowl for 5 years. Again, a high handicap team, low average team. They're under 500 at 197 and 211. I like Lightning Strikes in this match, even though they have struggled in their last position round. I could see a 16-8 to 17-7 here.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Lightning Strikes. Jerry's bowling great every week, and Chris Rich he's on every week. So
yeah, it's up to father and son. The Sites team.
Yeah,
although Gary's bowled well in the last month with a 300.
300.
You know, if he goes out and shoots 670 with that handicap, Barry gives him a 670. All of a sudden, they're a factor.
Or 16-8 the other way.
Oh yes.
And Gary almost shot 300 in the senior 5 game last month.
Yes, he did. He
Front seven or something.
Yes, he did.
That's great.
70 years old and still striking. I love it.
All right, 17th place team, Killer Tomatoes, is bowling against the 18th place Diamond Security. Diamond Security is the most disappointing team in the league.
No doubt about it. A great team. Look at those averages. Now, keep in mind, there's many teams with averages like that that are in the top 7 or 8. They can't win. It seems like no matter what they bowl, they lose. And they've got guns on that team that can shoot 780 in a heartbeat, and they can't beat anybody. Unbelievable how a team looking that good on paper, and there it is, the words on paper. They can't beat anybody. I wonder why at times you see that versus a team with the same averages like the Chuck Ruckers team that, you know, they're all within a pin of one another.
I think
they're 4th or 5th all year.
Team chemistry.
Team chemistry.
Mark Jr.'s not there half the time. So, you know, Schumacher was over there all the time. Clark's
Schumacher and Mark have missed some weeks.
Yeah.
I agree with that too. You get too many misses, the team just doesn't know how to
gel.
handle the new bowler, the new sub. They fight with it a little, there's no confidence, they're coming off a bad week, and then you don't know what the sub's going to bowl, and all of a sudden, you
it's
know.
like Oswald wasn't here.
Yeah, the minute James was gone, the team bowled horrible.
Exactly.
The minute he's back, they bowl well. It's very interesting too. He is a motivator because they know he's got a lot of heart and he's pumping every shot.
So there's a lot to this team chemistry thing.
I agree with team chemistry and team lineups. I believe that the minute you don't have chemistry, you might want to change the lineup. Anything to change the way you're thinking.
Absolutely.
Said it all year on the mic too.
Bobby Martin can bowl well this year on Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah, well, very well.
Larry Littman's been fighting back, and Freddie English shot 300 first round of the league.
Freddie Engel's got a great average. I like his average. He's
Yeah.
tough. He can bowl.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, one of our senior players on Tuesdays.
He's making money.
280. Yeah, he makes money. He's a good bowler. I like the way he bowls. Nice man. Solid as a rock there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Larry Lippman, one of our league sponsors, sponsors the ladies on Thursdays.
Love
Avid bowler.
All right, 19th place versus 20th place, Eddie Foods, Chris's P team against Rob Beard Smells. I got Eddie Foods in this one.
So do I. Again, there's a team with great averages that can't win. Look at us with really respectable averages, but they can't beat anybody. And now, that might change the second half. They are veterans. They all are very good bowlers, but they can't win. And they've got to ask themselves, what are we missing? I think it's a numbers game. I think that it could very well be lineup situations. It could very well be, do we understand where we are on our misses? Okay? And if we work on our misses, if they're losing games 20, 30 pins per, and they've got 20 of them in this league that were losses versus wins, that's why they're in 19th. They got to start to understand their numbers. Is it spare shooting? Is it people not doubling in the 10th because they're in the wrong position? You got to understand why you're losing.
I think the problem Eddie Foods, they got down early in the league.
They were way down early. They're a good team.
They're a great team.
They can strike.
They can never make it back.
You know, Greg Lindsay can shoot 680, you know, in a heartbeat. They know how to bowl. That is a good team. They can't win. Amazing when you see that.
Your Lake's 220, Chris is 213.
Jerry Lake is fantastic. I watched him the last couple of weeks in here, 7, 8, 9 in a row every league night. I mean, he is a very good bowler.
Very accurate.
They can't win. Unbelievable.
And Rob Thor's been bowling fantastic lately. JJ Feather's been struggling a little bit. Josh Brown's been struggling, and they have a new player took Dennis's spot, Jason. So you know, he's a new member of the team. So that kind of team chemistry is going to.
Yeah, I look at 12 and 12 here.
12 and 12.
Yeah, I think that both teams are just not going to go anywhere. It's the way they've been going all year. I see it again in the position run. I don't see anybody running away.
I think it's like 18 to 8.
You think so?
Eddie Foods.
You like Eddie Foods 18-8?
Yeah.
So are you betting on 18 and more?
No.
Are you taking that as a bet? I might have to go with Chicken Caesar bet with you on that.
And more.
I'm not taking that. I like 18. I'll take Chicken Caesar.
All right, 21 versus 22 is another disappointing team. It's a Big B Bowling.
Yeah.
They're bowling against team 22nd place Aches and Pains, Robert Seeley's team.
Well, again, Wayne Toplin, very good averages. You know, with Toplin and Hilton, they can't win. They're 40 points under 500. Again, that's a mystery when you see a team that's good, a veteran team, cannot win. And again, same thing with the team they're bowling against. When you see teams that have had this happen all year, I don't expect it to change in the position round. The reason is they haven't beat anybody anyways. So they're in 18 weeks and they're 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd. They don't know how to win. And I don't see how it can change in the position.
Big B was learning how to win early. They were in the top 5 for the longest
I
time,
know
but
they
then
were.
all of a sudden, the wheels came off.
All of a sudden they can't win.
They can't win.
And when you have that mentality, even in a position round, you're already down to begin with. You just got beat up for 7, 8 weeks. How does it change in one night? It doesn't.
I've seen some of the weeks where Wayne and Robert bowled fantastic and they couldn't win. Robert bowled well and
got
Bowen
swept
won.
a few times.
Yeah, she's 700.
He's had 725s and got swept. I mean, that's crazy.
Bad
but
luck and
that's what happens when you're a scratch player bowling against, a Rakoski or somebody that's equally as good or better than you. Your averages are close. But if Hilton's got a shoe up against Stouffer and Rakoski back-to-back weeks, and then we'll throw in Pfister, and he's got a chance to be well under 500 and won and lost, averaging 230.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
crazy.
It's my favorite.
That's where 90% of 235 is so deceiving, which that proved to me that this format works, because no matter who you are, no matter how good you bowl, your team could be buried because of that handicap system. That brings parity in. I expect 36 to 44 teams next year.
Oh, yeah.
I see it happen. I see this league becoming the #1 league in Southwest
it
Florida.
is.
Automatically for team membership, I believe it's the #1 league to begin with. I believe next year we could very well see 150 to 200 bowlers in the league.
I mean, you see you see handicap teams up in the top 5. We see scratch teams in the bottom top 5.
The equation's perfect. The format's perfect. What I really like is 18 weeks it drops, it starts again. It gives you a fresh start.
Right.
You might have been getting beat up, and here's another scenario.
Bad draw.
Let's say you're way down the bottom, 16th to 24th. You really have a good week, you go 20-4. Now you're pumped up going into next week where the points start over and you're saying we can do this. So the fresh start gives everybody a new outlook, which I really like. I like the fresh start at the halfway point.
Me too. A fresh start in life. All right, and the last match is going to be Rolling Thunder versus Stupid Corner.
Stupid Corner started off great with Mike Smith with 760, and from then on, just a bad first half. But I like the idea that they know it's over.
Well, this is slide draw. I'm sorry, I keep messing. This is what you call his team. It's not Robert Seeley's team. It's I messed up the slide.
That's all right. Who is it?
Stupid Corner is going to be White Leather and.
Oh, it's White Leather and
Boyd, Mr.
and
Boyd,
Mike Boyd, who's both fantastic.
That team bowled
They
great.
both great, and they can't beat anybody.
If I took that team, I put all their scores down, you had to pick what place they're in.
I like the
You
fact
say
that they're
top
getting
8.
this nightmare over.
Yeah.
And if I were them, I'd be all giving each other high fives, saying, "Now let's find out. We got a reprieve. We start over next week. But we're not going to win the league for year points, but they could conceivably make a top 8 if they get going and win the
I
second
think
half.
they're going to be
Sure, they could.
top 12.
They could get a top 8. They could move up and get into a top 8. So they get a reprieve by starting the second half and possibly winning the second half.
Absolutely. I mean, that team, I've never seen a team so unlucky before.
Yeah.
I mean, they shot 2,900 alone.
I know Boyd had a bunch of 700s and the team went nowhere.
Boys were killing it on Monday.
Yeah, Boyd's a good bowler.
He's great, yeah. So
Yeah, I like that.
that's it. So it'll be exciting this week on Wednesday. I cannot wait to
I
watch
can't
this
wait to
round.
live stream again on Wednesday. Talk about our great position rounds. We have some new camera angles coming in. We got the camera on 41 and 2. We got a front view. Right? And I love the fact that we're at the halfway point Wednesday. Where did time go?
I know, it's
I
right.
find it unbelievable. And there's no more breaks. Am I correct? We're not hitting any more holidays?
No more holidays.
We're going 18 in a row now after a 3-week break,
It's gonna be
right?
rough.
So it's going to be fun watching the second half. I will be missing no position rounds and no more Wednesdays, thank God. So I will be here the rest of the year.
Right.
I am missing a Friday and Saturday when I go to the USBC headquarters and Hall of Fame on January 17th for the PBA Hall of Fame inductions on Saturday 18th. I'm going to sit on TV.
Right.
I got an invite to sit with the Hall of Famers on Fox Sports.
Your lightning strike shirt?
I'm going to wear, no, if I wear my lightning strike shirts, they might strike me out. I'm going to be wearing my Hall of Fame blazer for the first time,
Yeah.
other than the night that I got inducted.
Congratulations.
And I don't know who I'm going to be sitting with, but I'm going to try to sit with, if I can. I don't know if it'll happen. But if I could sit with Pete Weber or Norm Duke or Nelson Burton or Del Ballard or Chris Barnes, if I could get lucky enough to sit with one of them during the show, or Marshall Holman if he's there,
You live stream?
For me, it'll be a privilege and an honor. I know I'm going to sit in the Hall of Fame member section.
Wow.
I just don't know how many Hall of Famers are going to be there. But
They know you're coming?
other than Burton, I could be the oldest. And other than Burton, I could be the longest touring player from long ago. In other words, I toured from 69 to 74. Burton was from 64 well into the 90s, so he's an automatic as the longest tenured touring player. But I might be next.
You'll be the ghost of bowling pass?
The ghost of bowling pass. Just want to get there healthy and happy. I can't wait to go. I've only been to the Hall of Fame Museum once, and so this time to be going as a USBC Hall of Famer for me is quite an honor.
You're immortal.
I don't know about immortal, but I'm honored,
I'm honored.
thrilled to be a resident of Southwest Florida and a USBC and PBA Hall of Famer. It's going to be quite a weekend for me.
So excited for you.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
All
Very
right,
excited.
that's about it. We'll see everybody on Wednesday, right?
We'll see everybody on Wednesday night. We want to wish all of you a very happy New Year. We hope that you all tune in. I will be on the air at 6:40, like I always am. It's going to be a great evening. We're going to crown a champion for the first half. There should be some great matches. And with the camera down the high end on 41 and 2 on our frontal views, I think it's going to be just wonderful to watch this show for all of you. And we have more coming with our production. Thomas bought some more equipment. We're getting ready to hook up. And we're waiting for Wayne Toplin's roving camera. So this second half for live streaming for us should be fantastic. So we want to wish all of you a Happy New Year and come in and join us Wednesday night.
We'll see you then.
See you then.